Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. We're doing a full body flow today, so find some space to move and let's get started. So let's begin today in just a nice comfy seat. You can place your hands on your knees or in your lap. You can close your eyes whenever you're ready. And take a slow, deep breath in as you lengthen your spine. Let that breath go. And do it again. A nice, slow, deep breath in and out. Taking one more slow inhale. And as you let it go, let your chin tip down towards your collarbone. Bring some length into the back of your neck. And then with an inhale, roll your head over slowly to your right shoulder. Keep going until you feel that nice stretch this side of your neck. And then pause there. You can stay for another inhale, and as you exhale, roll your head back down, bringing your chin towards your collarbone, and take an inhale as you roll your head over to the other side. Find that sweet spot where you get a really nice stretch through your neck. Stay for another inhale and moving with the exhale. Roll your head, your chin back down. Take an inhale and go back over to the right side. Pause. Just another inhale. And as you exhale, roll your head back down. And one more time. Inhale and roll your head over to the left and pause. Stay. One more inhale and an exhale to come back down. Let your chin get as close to your collarbone as it can. Let your shoulders fall from your ears. And you might start to open up your eyes. Look down to your legs or in front of you. And then letting an inhale, just lift your chin, bringing your gaze up. And you can open your eyes if they're still closed. And we can make our way into tabletop, onto our hands and knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side. We're going to be sending our right leg back. Tuck your toes. Push into the ball of your foot. Keep your foot on the ground and maybe lift your left arm and hand and reach forwards in front. Can you take the bend out of that left elbow and try to reach forwards more with the fingertips? Spread your fingers wide. Active through that arm. And then maybe you're going to lift your right foot up too and point those toes down. Stay for an inhale, and as you exhale, come back into tabletop. And send your left leg back, tuck the toes, push into the ball of that foot. And then maybe the right arm will lift with purpose and intention. Spread the fingers wide, reach forwards, pretend somebody's pulling on your arm to lengthen it more. But look down. And maybe that left foot will float too. Point the toes down. Be as long as you can be from that left heel to your right fingertips. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, come back into tabletop and maybe give your hips a little sway. But you can tuck your toes and lift up into downward facing dog when you're ready for it. Push into your hands. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in and out, letting your hips get a little bit higher. So your chest gets a little bit heavier. And then use an inhale and start to look forwards. As you exhale, walk your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Take an inhale to lift halfway up. As you exhale, fold forwards. Take an inhale to come all the way up to standing, reach up. Exhale, lower your arms to your sides, roll your shoulders back and down. Take an inhale to reach up. And exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach up. And exhale, lower your arms down to your side. So stay standing here. Take your hands beside your hips, palms facing away, fingers pointing down. Try to touch the floor with your fingertips, dropping the shoulders from your ears and just being as tall as you can be throughout your body. Now we're going to bend our knees a little bit. And just keep pointing your fingers down, your palms behind you. Bend your knees a little bit. You can start to float your hands back behind you more, but keep looking forwards, chest forwards, and maybe a little squeeze of the legs together. If they're touching, if your feet are touching, lift your palms up behind you as far as they will go. Then straighten your legs. Leave your hands where they are and fold forwards. And continue to lift your hands up, up, so that maybe your fingers are pointing behind you or up above you. And can you tuck your chin towards your collarbone? Lengthen your arms. And then we're going to relax them. Let them fall towards the ground. Bend your knees a little bit more. And then take an inhale to lift halfway up. Lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold and plant your hands and step your feet back into downward facing dog. Push the ground away. Push into your hands. Take a nice big inhale and let it go. Using another inhale to gaze forwards. And exhale, walk back up to the top of your mat. Take an inhale to lift halfway up. And exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale to lower your arms to your sides. Roll your shoulders back and down. Take an inhale to reach up. And exhale, folding forwards. Inhale into a half lift. As you exhale, we're going to fold and plant our hands, and just our left foot is going to come back. So you can decide, is your knee going to stay lifted? Right now, we've tucked our toes, we're on the ball of that back foot. You might bring your knee down and keep your toes tucked. You might rest on the top of the foot, and then you might try to lift your knee back up. Squeeze the leg. If you did come to the top of the foot and lift the knee, just gentle as you bring that knee back down. And then maybe you're going to tuck the toes again and lift the knee up. But then can we use an inhale from our lunge to look forwards a bit? And exhale, bring your back foot to the top. Take an inhale for just a half lift. And exhale, fold. Plant your hands, take your right foot back. Same thing, set up your lunge. Tucking those toes on the ball of that back foot. Your knee can stay lifted or it can come down. Keep the toes tucked or rest on the top of the back foot. And then maybe try to lift the knee again by squeezing that leg. If you need to bring your knee down, and maybe you're tucking your toes again. Maybe the knee's lifting back up. Take an inhale to gaze forwards. And exhale, bring your back foot to the top of your mat. Take an inhale for a half lift. And as you exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your feet back. Find your downward facing dog. Maybe a little pedal of the feet. A nice slow, deep breath in. And out. And then we're going to bring our feet together. Big toes might be touching. So we're going to lift our heels. We're on the balls of the feet. We're going to lift our heels. And then you can drop your heels back down. And then maybe you can also start to lift your heels again, but flip to the top of the left toes, lifting the heels, and then keeping those toes curled as you try to drop the heels again. You're probably not going to be able to go very far, especially with that left heel. And then you're going to release that left foot, so you're on the ball of it again, and the bottom of the toes, and you're going to lift your heels and drop them down. And then as you lift them back up, maybe you can rest on the top of the right toes. And then try to drop the heels. And again, you probably aren't going to go very far with that right one. And then you can lift it up and come back to the ball of both feet. Lengthen the bottom of all the toes as you lift your heels. And slowly start to lower your knees down into tabletop, but your toes are still tucked under. You can lean forwards. You can walk your hands back. You could lift your knees, and you could try to drop your heels to the ground. Stretch the ankles. You could try to lift the heels higher to be on the balls of the feet. You can lift the hands up. You can lengthen the spine. Woo! Use your toes as little supports. Push into them. And then you can start to make your way back, hands down, knees down, back to your tabletop, and bring some space between your knees and your feet. And maybe give the toes a little bit of tap on the ground as well. And then bring your knees back together, your feet too, resting on the top of the feet. Now, same thing, you can lean forwards. You can sit back, you can lean back and maybe lift your knees. Now we're more on the tops of the feet than just the toes, but you can lean back, you can have your hands behind you, you can lift a little bit longer through the spine, a little bit higher with the chest, a little press into the ground, and then you can start to come back. Hands to the ground, knees to the ground, back to your tabletop. Give your ankles a little bit of a shake if you want to. And then let's have a seat. No time to think about anything today. I'm taking you through nice and quick. Give your knees a hug. Take a rock side to side. Okay, we're going to be leaning back again. Some weights into the hands. We're going to bring our feet hip width apart. You can keep your hips on the ground. You can lift them up a little, a lot. You might lift your left heel and be on the ball of that foot. You might rest on the top of the toes and then try to lower the hips. Lower the hips kind of towards the left heel to stretch the foot, stretch the toes. And then you can lift the hips up again, plant your foot down, press into the hands, lift your hips as high as they want to. Right heel can lift. You can try to rest on the top of the toes, and then you can try to bring the hips towards that heel or all the way to the ground or somewhere you get a really awesome toe stretch. And then you're just going to lift, plant the foot, and then lift higher. And maybe look up. And take a nice squeeze your glutes and a big inhale. And then as you exhale, lower down. Lean forwards. Give your knees a hug, a squeeze, and maybe even wiggle your toes a few times. We're going to stay seated in just a comfy seat. Full body flow with a focus on toes. So we're going to try to hold on to one foot at a time. Maybe you bring your foot up onto your leg, and we're going to try to thread our fingers through the toes. Our toes, so important in our day-to-day, so they need the extra attention. And you can try to get your fingers up to those tops of those toe mounds, that webbed area between your toes. Get that really nice stretch. Give your foot a little hug with your hand. Just starting Let your foot go if you want to. If you want to hold on a little longer, you can do that too. Or come back here later. Just switch sides. Thread your fingers through your toes, trying to space them out. We've stretched the bottom, we've stretched the top, and now we're kind of stretching the inner sides too. Hold your foot. Take a breath. Normalize this. You can hold your foot at any time of the day because it's always with us. You can let that go. And you can uncross the legs. If you're sitting cross-legged, you can give your knees a hug or a squeeze. We are going to lay on our back. So if you're hugging your knees to your chest, maybe you can start to roll down and then you're hugging your knees still. And you can take a rock side to side if you'd like. If your back, a gentle massage on the ground. And just take a moment here to scan your body. How are your feet? Your hair? Working your way up your spine. Into your shoulders and arms. If you're still hugging your knees to your chest, you can let your feet come back down to the ground. You might bring your feet together and let your knees fall out to the side. Trying to connect the soles of your feet. Feeling your hips. And starting to wind down. You can stay here in this diamond shape, or you can start to send your legs longer. And just tune into your breath. Let your body be still now. As always, I encourage you to stay here for as long as you have time for today. Enjoy your Shavasana. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, namaste.